Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in today's movie review, I'm going to be reviewing the 2006 movie with Will Ferrell, Stranger Than Fiction. Stranger Than Fiction is directed by Mark Forster, and it's about a guy named Harold Crick who basically hears an author's voice, like the author's voice narrating him, and of course narrating the setting. And then of course Harold basically hears the voice inside in his head, and he discovers that he is the protagonist of her latest work. Well, while a book company editor, employee, that tries to cure the author's case of the writer's block, pretty much, like Harold Crick and a professor played by Dustin Hoffman, like they set out to find the woman and make her change her story. Yep. So so recently, like yesterday on Sunday, I rented this movie off of Amazon, and I gotta say, Stranger Than Fiction was actually a really good movie. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I actually thought it was a great drama film. Not just a drama, but it's also a fantasy comedy drama film, or should I say fantasy dramedy. Yeah, because there are some times in this movie where there is some comedy, while at the same time it's got some drama parts, like in terms of like a dramedy. And and I gotta say, Mark Forster actually does a good job directing this movie. Like Mark Forster, because I do enjoy some of Mark Forster's other films that he later directed. Because I know Mark Forster directed Christopher Robin from 2018, and of course he directed A Man Called Otto. And yes, he also directed Finding Neverland as well, but I've actually never seen that film. But yeah. But as for Stranger Than Fiction, I actually thought it had a unique concept. Like it actually had like it actually had some unique concepts, and it's like, and this movie is basically Will Ferrell's version of the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. And I love the Truman Show with Jim Carrey, and yeah, because this movie kind of does feel a little bit like the Truman Show, where it's about like like Harold Crick is basically like he hearing a voice in his head, and it's like and of course it's like a fantasy dramedy film. It's throughout most of the movie, and even the performances were actually really good. Like Will Ferrell's always a fun actor to watch on the screen, and Will Ferrell was great in the film. Emma Thompson plays the author as well, and Emma Thompson, I thought she did good. Dustin Hoffman was also good as well. Maggie Gyllenhaal, Queen Latifah, and Tony Hale. Like everybody else who worked on the film, they actually did a real good job in this film. And one of my flaws I have with the film is the pacing. So sometimes the pacing can get a little slow, like during the a little slow during the middle of the film. But then it picks up where the climax is, and then yeah. But yeah, but the pacing itself was pretty tolerable for me. And yeah, so oh yeah, and plus, and even the screenwriter's name was actually Zach Helm. Zach Helm actually wrote the movie, and of course he was also known for directing Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium, which was another film with Dustin Hoffman. And of course, and then years later, like the Zach Helm did disown that film, Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Zach Helm disowned that film, and he called it an absolute train wreck. Like I wish it's like he wished that he had never directed that film. But yeah, Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium was also a fantasy dramedy as well, and I still think that movie was also a pretty underrated film from my childhood, I honestly don't think it's that bad, but I gotta say the way Zach Helm like wrote this movie, I gotta say his screenplay was actually like well written for here. And maybe this could also be like if Zach Helm was better off as a screenwriter than a director or something like that. Since, like I said, he disowned like Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium and called it a train wreck. But aside from that, Stranger Than Fiction, I thought it had like unique concepts, like I said, and of course this movie was filmed in Chicago, Illinois. And I gotta say, the Chicago, Illinois setting was actually pretty neat as well. And like the way Mark Forster directed this film, like the way he shot the film and directed the film, and the way the cinematography looks, it's actually pretty unique and also very, very beautiful too in terms of a Mark Forster film. And and this movie was actually the three of the Will Ferrell drama films where Will Ferrell has taken on some drama roles like this movie, Everything Must Go, and of course the 2020 film Downhill. And yeah, because when the even like when the author's voice narrating the story is heard, like it's actually getting to the point where it's like where Harold Craig is basically trying to find out where that voice is coming from, and why and until he hears it in his head, like yeah. And it's like during the beginning of the film, and every time he's doing something during his routine, like the voice, like the author's voice, like narrates it. And of course, there are some times that like when Harold Creek does freak out on screen, it's not really slapstick and it's not wacky schnick. It's actually part of the drama's seriousness. But even at sometimes when the movie doesn't take itself seriously, it actually handles it pretty well. And yeah, so overall, Stranger Than Fiction was a great movie with Will Ferrell, and I'm gonna give Stranger Than Fiction 4 stars out of 5. An A tier for me. A tier. So yeah, if you haven't watched Stranger Than Fiction, then I recommend checking out this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I say give it a watch. I recommend it. And there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on Stranger Than Fiction. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.